Oh, we're continuing with the book Holy Grail of Wisdom Quotes by me, Pete Rogers. We're doing Ian Fleming today, also a judge named Fitzjames. Ian Fleming wrote James Bond, so here is a picture of Sean Connery with the lady who was in the movie Goldfinger. He's the best of the James Bonds ever. We used to love these movies. My father would always take, me and all my brothers to all the James Bond movies, and it was a great thing. All the guys looked up to James Bond. Again, back when I was a kid, USA was really masculine and tough and just considered itself superior to all the countries in the world. It was superior to all the countries in the world. And these were like our heroes: James Bond, John Wayne, Charlton Heston, Charles Bronson, Chuck Connors, then Sylvester Stallone or Rambo, and he was the best of the James Bond guys. Okay, so we're going to actually do this other guy real quick first. Just a couple quotes by James Fitzjames, actually James Fitzjames Stevens. He was a judge. He said, "The minority gives way not because it is convinced it is wrong, but it is because it is convinced it is a minority." Yeah, and that's true. Think how many arguments you just give in because you can't win because of the social factors, not because you don't think you're right. Okay, he says, "Originality consists in thinking for yourself." Okay, now just a couple quotes from Ian Fleming, the author of the James Bond books. He also wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which was a good movie when I was a kid. He said, "Once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is enemy action." I'll give you an example of that. I went over to Trader Joe's grocery store, and when I go to the checkout, one of the manager type guys at the store comes over and he starts asking me, "Why'd you buy that? Why'd you buy that?" And I'm like, "Why don't you go screw yourself?" But he's asking me all these questions about everything I ordered and going over everything I bought. And I was like, well, get the F out of here. It was really strange. And I thought that was weird, but I just ignored it. Then I go back to Trader Joe's, and the same thing happens again. The manager comes out and says, "Why'd you buy this? Why'd you buy this? Why'd you buy this?" And I'm like, "What are you doing? Following me around, you scumbag?" And so you figure that was nothing. My girlfriend was with me, and it happened 3rd time in a row and a 4th time in a row. Okay? They follow me around and they ask me everything I'm buying. There must be somebody who knows me over there, and maybe it's because they want to learn what I'm eating, but I wonder, are they going to poison me or something? Yeah, I don't trust Trader Joe's after that. They did that to me 4 times in a row. Okay, there was something very strange about it. Okay, let's see. Then here's what he says about a bestseller. "There's only one recipe for a bestseller, and it is a very simple one. You have to get the reader to turn the page." Yeah, you got to get the reader to be entertaining, enjoy the book, but I actually think I've looked at what books sell and which ones don't. The most important thing is that the writer is famous. If the writer's famous, people buy the book because the writer's famous, okay? And then people have to know the book exists. A lot of these medical books I found that are the great masterpieces, no one else knows that they exist. Okay, now here's the best quote of Ian Fleming. This is my favorite quote of him by far. He says, "All the greatest men are maniacs. They are possessed by a mania which drives them forward towards their goal. The great scientists, philosophers, religious leaders, they're all maniacs. What else but a blind singleness of purpose could have kept them in the groove of purpose? Mania is as priceless as genius." Ian Fleming. And partly where I got that attitude was if you look at athletic performance, okay? Let's say you want to have a boys' high school sports team, okay? You've got to be really good to, let's say, start on a basketball team if you have 1,000 kids in your class, all right? So to be the best guy in the varsity basketball team, you got to be one out of the 500 boys. Let's say you had a 10,000 kid class. So you got to, just make it so if you're 1 out of 100, you're 99th percentile. And people think, oh, that means you're smart. Let's say you're 99th percentile academically. But I would say, okay, that's great, but that's still not the big leagues, okay? When you get to college to play a sport, if you were 1 out of 100, you could be pretty good on your high school team. But to be good on your college team, you got to be at least 1 out of 1,000, at least perform the best out of 1,000 guys, that would be competitive for you. And if you really want to be competitive grad school level, you got to be at least 1 out of 10,000. Okay, and if you want to be world competitive, you got to be at least 1 out of 100,000. That's why I don't believe in this, settle for 99%. If you really want to be great at something, you got to be a lot better than the 99th percentile. You got to be the 99.999 percentile. Okay, so how are you going to be? And if you want to do a world-class achievement in something, how are you going to be 99.99999 percentile? You're going to have to be a maniac. You're going to have to push yourself so much harder than everyone else pushes themselves. You're going to have to get the best possible coaching. You're going to have to study the best possible experts. That's the only way you're going to do something that's head and shoulders beyond what anyone else is doing in your field. If you want to be great, that's what it takes. So you might as well be realistic about it and seek out the good coaching, the good mentoring as fast as you can, because that's the fastest way to accelerate development. And read all their books, watch their videos, whatever it is. That's how you become great at something. And then you got to learn not just your field, but the adjacent fields. That's kind of how you get great at something too. Okay, here's just another related quote by Theodore Mommsen. He said, "Without passion, there is no genius." And it's like Goethe had said, in order for a man to learn a complex topic, he must love it, because you have to have that love and desire and imagination and enthusiasm to get you to push through all the tedious detail. Because, most professional scholars or whatever, PhD experts in something, they sort of know their narrow field. They do what they have to do to get by, get their grants, keep their job at their university. But the ones who are really great, they're kind of obsessive maniacs, and that's why they're a little bit fun to talk to. Like, I really enjoyed, I've actually talked on the phone with some of these world famous researcher guys, like Gregory Sloop, for example, like Martin Paul, for example, and there's some other ones too. I'm not going to say their names because you know them. And it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of enthusiasm and energy, bubbling into their conversation. That's real pleasant. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that.